I am Dave Globin, Boogie with the Bull. Tuesday night live for Tuesday, December 10th, 2024 is on your screen. Anyway, let me shine a little bit of light on the subject so you can see my face. I'm Dave Globin, you're not. You can watch us on the Dave Globin profile here on Facebook. Let me scroll down a little bit, and yep, there we are. The Boogie with the Bull live chat is now open on the Dave Globin profile here on Facebook. You can also go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, and you can watch over there with a live chat. We do have a couple of guests. Michael Stewart is going to pop by. Also, maybe Jerry Michaels will join us. Maybe Chuck Cook will join us. Randy Rhodes might even join us. Randy Rhodes was still taping his Dinner with the Rhodes at All Roads Lead to Dinner with his wife and daughter. So hopefully he will come here. Jen Woodruff will not be with us tonight simply because it is Jesse's 51st birthday, I believe. And they are out for drinks and dinner. I think she said with friends. It could be with the whole family. It could be with family and friends. I really don't know. But if you're watching, come on into the live chat. Tell us what's on your mind tonight. Things that you think we should talk with. And you won't be bored totally if you're watching Boogie with the Bull Uncensored for Tuesday night, because Macho Man Randy Rhodes is with us, and he will maybe answer the all-important question: is all roads do not lead to the hair on top of your head anymore, I guess.
Macho Man.
It is a nice haircut, but I don't honestly know if I could take
it's a lot closer to what it's supposed to be.
That's sure. It would take a little bit to get used to,
but you know what? It'll grow back, and I've always heard for men that that too. I always heard that for men that every now and then you should shave your hair down to the bare minimal and just let it grow back. This way I can see if there's any empty spots in my brain that need to be filled in with something else. But no, it'll grow back. I mean, I told the guy a military buzz haircut, and that's what he gave me. But this is fine. I'm used to it. Like I said, my dad was in the military for 22 plus years, and there was no hair above or below the ear. It was always tight. How the Marines say it, high and tight, something like that. Yeah, it was always a very short haircut, and always clean shave. I go to my, even after I got married and came to visit, my dad would say, "You need a shave there, young man. What's up with that? You lose your blades?" No, Dad. I just didn't shave for the last 2 days. Yeah, but it's fine. And again, it makes for quick shower. Just gonna do is rinse off the hair. It's clean. Anywho, I guess
it's Tuesday night and we don't know what we're doing, but we do. Doing it anyway.
I guess the United States is not done with Syria. We're still bombing the shit out of them. Israel's doing the same.
They kicked out Assad.
Yeah.
Basically declared their independence, and we're bombing the shit out of them.
Yeah, we are. I'm looking at video now. Current video. We're still blowing the shit out of Syria. I guess they're hitting like the terrorist targets. I know Israel has seized the capital of Syria, which kind of like they. I got a feeling that when this is all done and said, Israel is going to keep some of the territory that used to be Syria. I just got that feeling.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll be allies with each other and allies with us, and who knows? Good evening. Warren Cooper is watching, and Billy Grant is watching on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. and in the live chat over there. Not to be confused with William Grant, who is watching here on Facebook and is in uh, the Facebook live chat. So the only problem is that if you are on the YouTube channel and you say something, I will see it on my screen, and if I highlight it, if I highlight what I do, if I type onto the screen, then I can highlight it, and the people here on Facebook can see it. So one of these days we'll be able to just highlight it, and everybody will see everybody, regardless of where you are. We're working on that very hard. Anyway, Randy, go
I didn't.
back.
I didn't know Turkey and Israel were friends. So it's American,
Well, I
Israeli,
said
and Turkey.
maybe they will become they will become friends, because part of, I think, what Israel is probably over there doing is flushing out. Oh, wait a minute, Turkey. I thought you said Syria.
No, what I said was America, Israel, and Turkey are joining forces to continue
Oh,
fighting and pounding the shit out of Syria.
yeah. Well, I think, like you said, they're probably still making sure that they chase the evils out of uh, out of Syria, and then have something to liberate Turkey. I kind of don't know. It's about my view about the country is, it seems sometimes they're along with us, and sometimes they're not. So I don't really know what
Yeah.
comment would
And
be
the Biden administration is still
on
trying to
that.
give billions of dollars to Zelensky before he leaves the office, which he'll probably get slipped through before he leaves the office,
Yep.
which is bullshit. Zelensky has to realize that he's lost the war, and he just needs to end it and save what civilian population there is left. But his country is totally destroyed. And it's going to take multiple generations to rebuild it back. But for Biden to keep giving money to them, that's the thing, like pissing money away.
That is very true. Also joining us is Jerry Michaels from the American Rebellion, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday here on Facebook, on the American Rebellion blogger page, and over on Rumble, and on X, and on local stores convenient to you just about everywhere on the internet.
You talking to me or talking to Jerry?
How you doing, Dave?
Oh,
Hey, we're only
I'm
on
doing
3 places.
okay. Well,
Thanks. I just heard today, I read a little while ago, or actually this afternoon, Joe Biden gave a $50 billion loan to the
50.
Ukraine.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's
And
going to get
a
paid back.
loan. Yeah,
no,
you think? So, how you doing tonight,
I
Randy?
thought I heard that. Oh, go ahead, Randy.
I'm doing well. The whiplashes on my back are starting to heal. The skin's starting to peel off and starting to show some improvement. But I appreciate you asking about me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good,
okay. Well, I
good.
don't know why you said that, but okay. Uh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Glad to hear
Yeah.
it.
No, no, I'm doing. Yeah, I'm doing good. We just finished
Good.
dinner. For some reason, we started eating dinner earlier, which allows me to jump on here around 7 for an hour or so. So that's why I'm here. And of course, obviously, on your shows, I've been kind of getting in there as well. But it's having fun.
Yeah, we
Just
like,
just some old men sitting around. Drinking some beer
yeah,
and smoking cigarettes, passing some gas, and just having a good old time.
Wait a minute.
yeah.
I don't pass gas. I
Okay.
fart.
Who's calling old? Who you calling old?
What?
Who's he
You're
calling
going
old?
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
Any,
Himself. He's the oldest one here.
any man without any hair, white hair is old.
I got plenty of white hair. It's just right here.
I got
I know, that's what I'm saying, white hair.
Yeah.
I got plenty of white hair.
I've had white hair in my beard since I was about 27 or 28. Oh, look at that!
So
The
do you think?
Chuckinator's here.
Yeah.
The
Hey,
Chuckster
Chuck.
is here.
Hey, Chuck. Yeah, I don't know if you've been following this Chinese thing though. They seem to be surrounding the shit out of Taiwan. Do you think they're getting ready to make a move on Taiwan?
Probably.
Yep. Yep.
Well, he's only got a little bit of time left here, so
Well,
fuck it up a little bit more, right?
20. Well, we're down to what 30 some days.
Yeah.
Yep.
46, isn't it?
Yep.
Wasn't it 47 last night, Dave?
It was 47 for 47 last night, I think.
Yeah. It's 46 more days.
I think.
Hello, everybody
But,
in the chat.
Yep. Good evening, Tina Scott. She says hi to. Wait a minute. We don't want to do. I hope I didn't do that. I don't know. I may have locked Tina out of the live chat. If I did that, I profusely apologize, and I will figure out how to correct it as soon as I possibly can, or I will fire myself.
You can't. You don't get paid. Remember.
Well,
You can't fire yourself if you're not getting paid.
I can take my laptop privileges away, and then I have to do the broadcast on a Chromebook, and that means Jerry won't come on because he hates Chromebooks.
No, Dave. No, Dave. I just hate it when you talk about Chromebooks. That's all that is. Otherwise,
Oh, okay.
whoever wants to use a Chromebook is more than welcome to. I would assume.
I have a couple of friends who asked me said that if I shipped the Chromebook out to them in California, Mike Grant from Guns Unlimited, firearm sales and training, does a lot of videos showing the use of different weapons, that he would feature the Chromebook in an upcoming video as long as he could use it as a target. And I was almost tempted to let him do it.
Oh, there you go. I think that's an excellent plan, and you should do that immediately, if not soon.
Yeah. I'd like to save it to sometime when I'm out there in California. But you have to be careful parts of California. I guess there was a tsunami threat. I never heard from Eric Martin as to if he is near where he is. And my sisters live way up north in Humboldt County, the marijuana capital of the world, and are on the top of a mountain. So they're most likely not tsunami targets where they are. Unless, of course, the town of Garberville becomes a lake, in which case
I think that's over, Dave.
Happen.
I think that's over with. I don't think that ever really came to fruition.
Yeah. I did catch one of my sisters on around 3:00 in the morning our time, and she didn't say much about it. So you are probably right. Anyway, David Fowler is watching. Tina Scott is watching. Tina, if you're out there, say something in the live chat, because if I did not mean to lock you out, and I do not know how to unlock you if I did.
Wow.
I have to figure out how to.
What does she want to come on the show?
No. I went to highlight her comment, and I must have clicked it in the wrong spot or held it too long, and a big bar came across that said "add to block list" or something. And
you blocked her.
Right, and I don't know how to unblock.
There she is.
I don't know how to unblock her. Okay, I see. There she is. All right, she's not coming up on my screen, but she is in the live chat. So I will figure out how to. How to get it corrected. But she is in the live chat. She's just not coming up on my screen. And I will figure out how to do that. And then I will fire myself accordingly. Anyway, let's see. So Chuck is with us. Jerry is with us. Randy is with us. I'm with us. Michael Grant Michael Stewart was going to join us. He was connected, then he popped out, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, it's Tuesday night. It's open discussions. Anyone in the live chat has something you want to discuss? Anyone here is more than welcome to bring up anything that we want to talk about tonight.
Crickets.
You want to talk about crickets? Oh, come on! I'm trying hard, Randy. You know.
Hey, has anyone ever eaten?
Like teleprompters.
Has anyone ever eaten chocolate crickets?
No.
No, I've had chocolate covered ants before.
Yeah, I've had ants, but hey, speaking of roaches and ants, did you see? I posted on Facebook. I saw it on X and couldn't quite believe it. So I did some googling and verified it. New York is running ads telling its people how to prepare for a nuclear attack.
Nice.
And essentially, now get this. I guess this. Has there been a nuclear attack? Do the following. Step 1. Get inside! Step 2. Close the doors. Close the windows. Step 3. Kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah.
No, but essentially, it's just get inside your house, close the doors, and wait for further instructions. Well, hell, if there's a nuclear attack, there are going to be any further instructions because everyone's been blown away.
Well, this is why in grade school in California, when we had a nuclear, the first thing was you dive under your desk.
Yeah.
And then when I was in college, philosophy class, the instructor asked me, give your best philosophical reason as to why that's stupid advice. And I said, only because I won't see the ceiling come crashing down on my desk to know that I died, because by the time I realize it, I'll be sitting outside of Beetlejuice's office waiting to check in. So,
I mean, people. Okay, so as far as I understand, and maybe Jerry, with his military experience, can shed some light or correct me if I'm wrong. But okay, so philosophically speaking, I think we're getting closer to Putin launching his missiles. Okay, so he launches his missiles. Now we know they travel at supersonic speed, so they'll get here in about 3 minutes or something like that. I know from North Korea to Hawaii with their weapons, it's supposed to be like 30 minutes, but they don't have the weapons that Putin has. So let's just say 5 to 10 minutes duration between. Because they travel 3 to 5,000 miles. Okay, so they'll get here quick. So the missiles are launched. NORAD sees them. It takes time for the guy on the screen to say, "Hey, Colonel, yeah, I got something on my screen here, Colonel. What you got there, Sergeant? Look at that. Oh, okay. Let me go to the president. Cling. Can you please wake him up? Yeah, it's an emergency. Wake him up. Okay, I'll wait. Click. Mr. President, yes, Putin just launched his missile at us. What should we do? Okay, I'll take care of it. That's what's going to happen, and eventually they'll respond by shooting their own missiles at them. By that time, people in the cities, it's like getting into your house makes absolutely no sense because depending on what they launch, they're either going to blow up above the city so it destroys everything below it, or it's going to be one where it hits the ground and cause a gigantic crater, plus that mushroom cloud that follows afterwards is going to cause the intense flames, which is going to burn everything within 3 to 5 mile radius. So getting inside your house ain't going to do shit for you. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're probably right. I want to be on the beach.
If you're correct,
I want to be on the beach.
If you're close enough,
if
you're within it's not the blast that kills the most people, it's the wave afterwards. Now the blast could kill half a city. Don't get me wrong, but then the sonic or shock wave or whatever that goes past it kills many more. So
Yep.
if you're close enough, you're probably going to die unless it's not your time, and then you'll die later because of the fallout and so forth.
Radiation.
Yeah, and then you'll die from
It
that.
will be your time.
But they told us in the Marine Corps, this is what he says. He goes, find a ditch, get in it, because the shock wave will go over the ditch and not in it. And if you're close enough, get in the ditch and kiss your ass goodbye because you're going to die.
Right.
This is like a really happy place, this Paris Island. I noticed that. Um, but yeah, yeah. But that was in the 80s, and our weapons are much more deadly now. So they also told us they had a submarine that could blow the world up 10 times over or 9 times over. And my question in my head, because I didn't really want the answer, was who's going to be here after the first time? But there you go.
In the
So
old
I don't think there's
docudramas,
going to
like the day
be
after.
nuclear war. I don't believe it. I don't think Putin is going to even send nuclear weapons to Ukraine because Trump is coming back, and I think Trump being right now negotiating, if that's what all the rumors are, a peace treaty of some sort. Probably one where Zelensky does not have a choice. I mean, as Randy is not wrong. They lost. Okay, especially with Trump and Putin, because Trump is really not going to give him a whole hell of a lot more money. Um, Biden's
No.
time is over, and 50 billion. Once that's gone, what is he going to do? And all he keeps doing is killing his citizens. And
Yep.
hell, they could have a ceasefire till Trump gets in office and probably straighten the whole thing out in a week, and Putin will win. That's just the way it is. Like it or not like it makes no damn difference. Putin didn't kill all those people. Zelensky did.
We did.
Yeah.
But I think
With
we
our
should
help.
take
Yeah,
a
oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely, Randy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the loss of especially civilians. So, I mean, a soldier, he signs up knowing that eventually, his paycheck's going to be, going into combat and fighting and hopefully surviving the battle. But the civilian, they don't sign up for combat. They're there, hoping that the soldiers protect them, the government protects them. But uh, I think we should have stayed out of it. I don't think we should have gave them anything other than we'll pray for you scenario. But to give them all that weaponry and the money to continue fighting, knowing that eventually Putin's going to persevere and start using the big guns. Um, we shouldn't. The loss of those lives, falls on the Biden administration as well as Zelensky for continuing it. My personal opinion.
Well,
Well, I can tell you
what's
this.
Zelensky going to do once Trump is back
Ukraine is
and he
now
doesn't get
using
any
old
money?
men and children to fight their war because they're
Yeah.
running out of soldiers, which is the
Yep.
same thing as using civilians because they're not highly trained and they're basically cannon fodder. So Zelensky, through us and our money and weapons, has killed quite a few of his own people and should probably be up in The Hague for war crimes. For what he did to his country. And this is what you get when you put a comedian in charge, or we put a comedian in charge, or some damn thing. I don't know, but somebody did. And, there's a lot of rumors about a lot of stuff. He's a cocaine freak. He's bought hotels. He got a freaking yacht. He's got a yacht, and baby Ukrainians are dying by the dozens.
Yeah.
Um, his own people should be taking care of his ass.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep.
But he might have all that good stuff, but I believe once his government falls and he is removed, the only thing that he can really claim ownership to is whatever cash he can carry out of the country. I mean, look at Assad. The people finally broke into the area where he kept all his very expensive cars. So now I don't know if they're being destroyed, if they're being sold, or if whatever's happened to all those cars. But yeah, at least a dozen or so very expensive high end cars that he had to leave behind. The other thought I had too was, he got out. Maybe I guess maybe his wife, his girlfriends, but what about the rest of his family? Were they left behind to be uh, arrested by the people?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I have no idea.
Well, probably his immediate family went with him. The rest were on their own. And I can just imagine their feeling because they thought they were untouchable, and now suddenly they're very touchable. They did go kill
Yeah.
a Turkish, was it Turkey or no, Syrian scientist for some reason. I don't know why.
Maybe he's the one that created that sarin weapon that they use against the civilians.
Could be. I have no idea. It didn't really say in the article why they killed him, but you know, he's dead nevertheless. They call it an assassination, so I don't know.
Yeah.
They got him at his house apparently.
Ouch.
My guess is we'll never find out, but along with all the other crap, we'll never find out. And my guess is most of America's assets in the country are probably living high on the hog and fine.
Yep.
Yeah, with our money. hmm
With our money.
With our money.
With our money.
Can you imagine how great this country could really be if we didn't keep shipping all this money to everybody? I mean, how many countries offered to pay or donate hurricane relief to people in
Yeah.
Florida, North
Yeah.
Carolina?
Okay.
None.
He's
Zero.
linked. He's linked to Syria's chemical weapons program.
Okay. Well, that's probably why he's dead.
Well,
Yep. That's probably why he's
Yep.
dead. Yep.
Can't blame him for that one.
who exactly are these rebels? Is my question because we
Yeah.
knew what we had with Assad. None of it was good. This could actually be worse. You know, is it ISIS? Is it one of these, Hellabala, whatever the fuck they're called? Is it the
The
Hamasos? Is
CIA.
it some new group? Is it who is it? And who's
The
financing them?
CIA.
Because they didn't just show up with some AK-47s and take over the Capitol. They've been financed by somebody.
The
CIA.
CIA.
Yeah,
The
know
more than
Bushes.
likely.
Yeah. The
Now,
Bushes, the
Assad
CIAs,
is
the other
trying to get
Bushes.
asylum in Russia, which I find interesting.
Say what?
Assad is trying to get asylum in Russia.
Yeah, he's in Russia right now. Makes sense
Yeah.
because Russia supported him.
Yeah, yeah.
Is Snowden still over there? Snowden, the computer hacker guy? Or-
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
Michael Anthony is in the live chat, and the question from him is, "What do you need, Dave? I got your message. I just heard that you were doing a very big broadcast around 8 o'clock tonight, Michael, and I thought that you might want to tell people what it is on, what the topic is today. I didn't spend much time on Facebook during the day. I spent most of the time on the phone, so I couldn't promote. It, but I heard it comes on around 8 o'clock tonight, and that it was evidently going to be some kind of a very big broadcast, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to promote it. But other than that, let's see. Jerry Michaels is here. I'm here. Randy Rhodes is here. Chuck Cook is here. Michael Stewart was supposed to be here. He did come in. His camera was here. Then all of a sudden his camera popped out. So I'm not sure exactly what happened. Michael Stewart and I had a very interesting conversation, and he sounds like someone that would fit right in. Okay,
Chuck,
someone else start talking so that I can go to Michael and email
hey,
him.
hey, Chucky,
Yes, sir.
where's your tag name come from? I'm curious.
Oh, that was back in the late 80s, early 90s, when I was younger and able to do this shit. I got involved with the Janesville JCs, which is just south of Madison, Wisconsin. And they said, "Hey, do you know how to run a chainsaw?" And I said,
Oh
"Yeah."
shit.
And I
Okay.
said, "Okay." And we ended up working in the haunted house. And yeah, very effective tool for in the haunted house. And
Oh, okay.
that's where I got the name, and it has stuck ever since then. Yeah.
I don't know why when you said that my first mind set of mind was going that you cut something off, something you cut some body poor part off.
No, no. And a lot of the
Well,
haunted
Chuck
houses
doesn't
that
tell you
we
about the
had,
hole in the floor in his living room either, so you got to remember that. We don't know what's down
Hmm.
there.
and a lot of the haunted houses that we had in town were all old abandoned buildings and stuff. We even had a old abandoned Rock County jail because we're in Rock County, Wisconsin, and that was right along the river. And several of the members of the JCs back then um, were into paranormal and stuff like that. And yeah, there was definitely some things going on there in the jail. And we had one building downtown Janesville. It was the old Woolworths building,
Oh my
and there
God,
was some
Woolworths.
really weird shit went on in that building. Yeah, and we still talk about it to these days, and just reminisce. And most of it was all good. There was a couple things that would send chills right up your spine and make your hair kind of stick out, like But yeah. Oh my God, I went over my time limit. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
what the hell,
Jerry.
Chuck?
About
Oh,
sentences, Chuck. You're done, Chuck. You can't come back until next week. You already filled up.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Filled
Chuck
up
got to wait a year before he
sentences
can
now.
pick it. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
Damn,
no,
nice job, Chuck.
that's
I
where I
gotta
got the
tell
name
you.
from. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
that's pretty
that's where
good.
I got
That's
the
it.
name
Just
from.
ask Chuck about himself, and he talks all night. That's it. It's good. It's real good.
No,
Go
I
ahead, Chuck.
could.
Well, you're
I'm done for now.
that was good though. That was good.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
okay. Here's the question, Chucky. Um, uh, you live in Wisconsin. Obviously, you got the accent, so you obviously lived there for quite a period of time. So, did your parents move there? Your grandparents move there, or how did you wind up in that state?
Okay, here we go. I was born and partially raised in Dubuque, Iowa, and my dad worked for Sears at the time as an assistant manager at the Sears store in Dubuque. Well, then he got transferred to be a manager up in Esterville, Iowa, which is in the northwest corner of Iowa. So we moved up there. And then from Esterville, Iowa, we moved up to Manitowoc, Wisconsin, which is just about 38 miles southeast of Green Bay. Okay, right along the lake there. And then from there, I was going to graduate high school up there back in 74, but in 73, he got transferred down to Beloit, Wisconsin, where I'm currently at now, is in Beloit. So I got pulled out, and I was hardly ever in school my senior year because I had all my credits. All I needed was one credit. So I just took one class in my senior year. The rest of the time, I wasn't even in school, and graduated. And I've been around this area ever since then.
Hmm.
So just right
Yeah,
around the Midwest here. Yep.
I often wonder, doing what I do with family research and so forth. I'm always curious as to, what, uh, how we each have our own unique way of talking, because we came here primarily from Europe. So we were Germanic, we were English, maybe some French and stuff like that. But as they came in and filled in the country, it just seems like each state has its own very unique way of talking, the accent.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that works out.
Very high German and Polish and Irish here in Wisconsin. Yeah. So it's kind of we're all mixed up here for sure. Yeah, it used to be that. I don't know what it is now, but could be.
Pennsylvania is primarily Germanic and Dutch,
Yeah.
and you'll see a lot of that. And of course, now with all the immigrants coming into the state, that's kind of screwing things up for us. But what I liked about it was that our Pennsylvania is primarily Amish, Mennonites, Quakers, and Dunkards. Then a few Christian outfits come in, but the people are starting to filter in with from India and from Puerto Rico, and one or two other kind of nationalities, but they stick primarily to the cities, which is fine with me. The people out in the country, if you talk to them, you can definitely hear a Germanic Dutch accent with them.
Iowans don't have an accent. That's okay. Everybody's got an accent. It just depends on where you're from and where they're from. Everybody talks differently, but it is what it is. I mean, when we lived up in Manitowoc, a lot of I don't know. They talk like people from northern Michigan, with a definitely slang and stuff like that. They wouldn't say you; they would say use.
Use.
Use. What are you going to do for Christmas this year? Hey. So yeah, it's different. It is definitely different.
So what do you think? I heard that every now and then Trump brings up again about Canada being the 51st state.
Theoretically, it could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. But
Yeah,
theoretically, though, it could happen. But
I mean, if you put the screws onto Canada like he's talking about to make them pay their due, and if what's his name the
Trudeau,
Trudeau,
See?
and if he's correct in saying that if Trump does and is going to break the back of Canada, if he's that fragile of a nation, then maybe he shouldn't be in charge. I I think there's some. If you ever took a, if you need to be interested, if you take a vote from Canada, how many Canadians would vote for a secession and then join up with the United States? I mean, it has its benefits for sure.
Yeah. I just saw here in the chat, it says something about, hey, Jerry, what about the pigs and something else? Or I just lost it. But I want to know what's behind the pigs and the cows or something. Jerry? I can't hear him.
Jerry, did you lose your mic?
Fucker. Okay. I don't know about cows and ducks. I just can't take the snow in Iowa, and I have no part of it.
Okay.
But Canadians love Canada. They just hate their government, much like we hate ours. They're not coming here. They don't want to come here. They want to stay there and live a normal life. That Trudeau, who is got to be the biggest, wussy boy, I guess, on the planet. Trump did everything but manhandle him, and now he's trying to be a tough guy because Trump's going to put tariffs or because the trade between Canada and the United States is unfair again. And he's going to now Joe's trying to be a tough guy. Of the two, I guarantee you Trump wins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I call him Justine Castro, Danielle. That's why. But yeah,
So Dave,
I think.
Dave,
I'm trying to send a link
Go
by
ahead.
email, and it's just not cooperating tonight.
I can who do you want the link sent to? I can send it.
Michael Anthony.
Okay.
Normally I can send him links, but tonight I can't. And I'm just, let's see, is that it? That's it. So let's see. All right, Michael, I sent it to 10 o'clock talks. You can wait a second, and if you can get it, you're more than welcome to come and join us. If not, maybe Randy will get you the link and you'll be able to come in. That way, technology is just not cooperating tonight.
Yeah, I sent the link to Michael.
Okay. Let me get over here so I can watch and see if he comes.
It's going to be the one that has the that flag with fireworks around it.
I don't know. Hold on. Yep. No, wait a minute. Yep. There he is.
Yeah, okay.
No. There he is. Okay. All right. I see. You are there.
Good morning, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hey.
How you guys been? Everybody getting ready for the holidays?
Yeah.
Good.
You bet.
I would have invited you on. It's just there was someone said that you had a big. Someone I guess tried to get you to do something.
Yeah.
With them, I guess today, and he said that you said you had something big at 8 o'clock, and I just.
Yeah.
Everything you do is big, and right now there's a lot of big information out there. And I honestly, to be honest with you, just didn't feel like talking about politics tonight.
Okay, we don't have to. We can talk about the world's future. No, listen.
That politically, that's a crapshoot.
Well, I don't know. English. I don't know. I could take you down a bunch of avenues today. I mean, honestly, it's verifiable where I was today on YouTube. I was with a very close friend. I call him the ghost scientist. He's part of the big Lee and crew network of the Group 583. Part of the Central Intelligence and Command Divisions and so forth. And it was basically now tonight, since I did that this afternoon for 3.5 hours, I can't make contact with anybody, which is like part of why I come in tonight.
Right.
I was supposed to do a secondary thing with Eric Dadmeyer, a whistleblower through the federal government, through FEMA, and a couple other divisions. He's a speaker, lecturer. Anyway, I can't make contact with anybody now. I guess I'm being punished, but that's okay. So I heard something about the 51st state. I would say you're going to live that. And what you can call this is a new state constructions, new world country constructions. Remember, what we just went through was nothing about, and this was told to me, pondered into my head for me to understand. And I've said this to people prior to them even nailing me today with this, and I got nailed pretty hard. I'm not joking. This was not a problem that affected America, even though it did affect America, us included. But this was a global network of a problem. It was constituents of the most nefarious people under a control of something, we'll just say for right now, that, are getting their way and intend to get their way even into the future of the next 4 years plus. But that doesn't mean it will. But what you will see, a part of the narrative of the plan, so-called to speak, is Russia, China, United States, all getting sectors of the globe. You're going to see an expansion of America. You're going to see expansion of Russia. You're going to see an expansion of China. There are 58 countries all involved totally that go under this type of thing. And they're going to, create what they are going to call new state structures. So supposedly you'll see and hear a lot more about this. As for when you may actually see these things occur, nobody was willing to actually put themselves in a position or place to say it's going to be like then or now. But I can tell you by 2029, April 14th, it's going to be a very dire situation of what we need to do. And because this war's not over, it's more complicated. The psyops are going to be greater, and we're going to have to really stick together while this new cabinet and administration gets together. Because once we start to dismantle what they did and actions through the United States, remember, the United States runs everything globally. It really does. It's the trigger component that makes the networking work. Even when it comes into retrievals and technologies and artifacts, it doesn't matter. They're the one that everybody in all the world countries have to answer to. So, but by the time we get to and I know, oh, wow, that's a long ways away. Let's not worry about it now. Well, I'm being told that we need to really worry about it because this AI technology is something you cannot see. Part of what I said to you, not said to anybody in particular today, but Randy, who actually was one of the only ones that made a comment back to it, was about how do we protect our earth. We really don't have to worry so much about protecting the earth. It's what's here on earth with us that we may have to protect ourselves from. We know that there's AI technologies, and we know there are control mechanisms, and we know that there are things like med beds and all these other things. Well, some people are privileged to these things. That's why you see the elites live into their 90s. They may start to look decrepit, but they're getting these types of years in, all the presidents, et cetera, et cetera. But they've made deals with, we'll just say, capacities of certain capacities of things that I don't know how people will take to this, but it does concern the 583 group. If anybody wants to try to look up that Project Calypso, that's another way you can look into some of these things that I'm talking about. But these are all intelligent technologies. So what do we really see and what will really work? You don't have to build an infrastructure around a dome that is there, because remember, we have layers of the Van Allen belt that already are radiating things that don't let us out. All right. If they're not true, I mean, then I don't know. But the bottom line is this. It goes back to 1930 where something was found, and some other things that happened in the 1950s, and demands that were made through Presidents Truman and Eisenhower. And we are dealing with something that's beyond the realm of acceptable when you look at, common sense, the rule of thumb of common sense. But we know that we are dealing with it because we know that there are people involved within it. So, yeah, you're going to see an expansion as Trump and other successors of the world who are backing him. And there are many, the ones you're even talking about tonight, to get us to a point of, a better place. So he will be called the president known as the cushioниzer, where he can create the cushion and give back to the American people. But while he does that, he's also fixing the world. But at the same time, we're going to have to struggle and go through, because if the tariffs go through, remember, you're going to be paying times more for anything. So if you need something, you better run out and get it now for Christmas, because when this does take place, you're going to be paying exorbitant amounts until the push comes to shove, where everybody goes into what's called the separation mode of the new states, new basically, where, Russia's going to have so much all the way to Europe. China's going to have all of Asia. We will have what we'll call our new Area 51. That will be America.
Hang on for just a second.
Sure.
I appreciate you going along. Just want to give Jerry a chance to comment on anything that.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Move the conversation toward. I'm not stopping you in any way. I just want to pass it on.
I get it. It's cool. Go ahead.
Actually, I was just listening because I don't know anything about this, so commenting on it doesn't seem. All I know is if Canada becomes part of the United States, there's going to be a lot of pissed off Canadians and a lot of pissed off Americans. That's what I know.
Well, I don't know how that's going to work out, and I can't judge what people may or may not do, but I know Canada wants to be under Trump. I mean, there was a lot of support out of Canada, for Trump to win. They may be excited about it. Now, we do know that Trudeau's also been down to Mar-a-Lago. I don't know how much you guys are really following, seeing who's going through the doors to these meetings, but I'm not joking. Look it up. It's available information. So I'll just say it at that. But I don't know if America would really be mad. And I would say this. If we united that way and we did become a United States America of 51, look how we would benefit from it because of the oil, the gas, the timber, the things, the infrastructure we will need into the future to keep building with, because, we're running out of certain things here, of course, and we do need to drill again, yes, but there's already things that were put in place working with Trump that was shut down, like the Keystone Pipeline. This would gravitate us immediately on the offset of the tariffs or what might affect. But at the same token, we're going to have to deal through these struggles, and there will be struggles that will come with this. But one of the most amazing things was when Trump went over to visit some of these the victimizers who tried to victimize him, who are now being the victimizers because they're in fear. Trump showed up with a golden tie on. He had a gold tie, and his representations. Remember, at Christmas time, everybody wears some people do. They wear Christmas ties. Trump has always showed a message through his wearing of the tie, and they did nothing but kiss his ass and worship him because they are in fear of what can happen to them. But
for just a second,
sure.
What does the yellow tie mean? Because
Gold.
I noticed that.
Gold.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you what it means because I did as much reading as I could find out about it, and all I could find were articles that explained, yes, he's a fashionable guy and he changes his tie all the time. And I'm thinking BS because I met him when he was wearing his red Trump power tie, and I have it because I got one as a result of meeting him. What he's wearing that yellow, I guess gold. I guess you call it a gold tie, but I was saying yellow. But
representation.
Why was the change? Why was the change from the red tie to other ties, and then now fixated on repeating the yellow tie, the gold tie every day?
Well, I can't explain everything that I can only express to you what I do know came across the board, and across the board was his way of telling him this, we're going to go into America with his plan. So listen to the man, not their plan, kind of, so to speak, as I used to say to everybody, where digital currency will come about, but it will also be protected and backed by enormous amounts of gold, and more gold than we will need. Now, you can't count on anything to be in Fort Knox. You can't get in there for the last 40, 45 years. Nobody can. And I wouldn't doubt that it's empty. But I think Trump is well aware of it. And that's why the globalists of a different magnitude were seriously backing him for this presidency run. And that was some of the stronger reasons why he had such a great success. Because there was just as much money starting to get thrown around and people representing him to become the next president of the United States that weren't down with all this global bullshit nonsense and, wokeness. They didn't want it. They didn't want their families being raised into it. But you have to understand that these people live off negativity, and they're always going to tell you what they're going to do before they do it, because that's the law of the rule of thumb. That's how it works under the universal law. And they're not afraid to tell you, but who benefits from the fear? And then, because fear is of an energy. So then you get into the energy placement of how's this working? Who is this? What is this energy actually infiltrating to or supporting of? And that's where the big question comes into play of why our military and the complex is so difficult, and why the Pentagon plays such a hush-hush game, because it's known why and who and where and what this is all about. And it's goes by one name of Alice and one named Lilith. And it goes back millennia ago that has put this all in place, why we've always seen everything that comes through the spectrum that we question when we say, well, they've always been here and so forth. Well, there are intelligences that you cannot see. And that was part of my other thing that I put up tonight in the post, that you'll never see, but they surround us. They can influence us, and they have different ways through the AI technologies, which I'll call Alice. And Alice is something who is like a supreme being that can outthink any man, that can come up with an answer that would take man 9 months to do in less than 30 seconds. So they can be objective, they can be speculative, they can go against you, or they can be with you. And they can decide it before you even ever have the thought of knowing what to do. This is how advanced it is, and it goes beyond what I'm even describing. So if you can just imagine some of those small breadcrumbs, imagine the strength and complexity of intelligence that this technology has come into our hands and what it means. Not because Lieutenant Corso gave out information of certain things that mattered and certain technologies that existed. It's beyond that. It's way beyond transistors and wires and things of that nature. It's because we are actually side by side dealing with a presence of something that's just so far more superior. And if everybody should fear, because in the messages that were given to the military direct, and I can assure you, I was on with one of the biggest whistleblowers, and he even told me today, he's like, Michael, I spent 15 and a half hours on with Linda Moulton Howe. And she is actually working behind the scenes with them. She releases what they tell her to release. And there's a lot of things that we need to worry about beyond them spectrums. So when we look at everything that we look at, whether it's something that we don't want to believe or something that we should be believing, it brings in cognitive dissonance. Again, something that I put up a big notation on, I had groups called the Cognitive Room. It was because I wasn't trying to enlighten people into the future of how this would get released. And I know within the next 2 weeks, it's going to smash everywhere. It really is, because it needs to come out, and it needs to come out from people because they're getting to the point of age and sickness, who I found out one of my best friends that has given me guidance only has 6 months to live. And he said, Michael, this is my time. This is why you're here today. This is why I wanted to go out. And I'm only giving you the information that was provided for me from someone who ran the division of the 58 countries. He ran all 58 divisions of the operational management divisions. And we're not talking about no-fly zones. We're talking about countries.
Very interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Michael Anthony is with us. Randy Rhodes is with us. Jerry Michaels from the American Rebellion. And we must have lost Chuck. I hope Chuck, let me see. Chuck, yep. Let me see. There's Chuck. We lost Chuck for a moment. Not sure what happened. I'm having trouble with the live chat on my end. So I'm doing my best to make sure we include people in the conversation. So bear with me if I don't. Danielle was watching Velta Childress, who is one of my earliest conservative patriot friends here on Facebook. I am very glad to see you watching tonight, Velta, and hope that if you like the broadcast and are learning anything, that you will share it accordingly all over Facebook. Anyone else? And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, Billy Grant was watching over there when we started. Please take it from the YouTube channel and share it around, and be a part of the live chat tonight if you have questions as anything is being discussed.
I just want to make one more remark, and it's a good one, but
Okay.
I mean, it's my opinion. It's like you know how that works. I mean, everybody has one kind of thing, but the importance of Canada is if we can work with them now, and a control mechanism would come into play. It's because then we can blockade the northern border, which was never done. That should have been done. Which in a way didn't even matter because they were bringing people in by land, air, and sea. But again, it gives us that substance of structure up there to protect the border here now. And then going into the future, what are you going to do? If you're going to try to invade to America, you're going to have to go through the Antarctic. I mean, who's going to go up to the pole to come down? It's not going to happen. Where they have an open gate and they can do it now and sneak through because the border is much larger than the southern border in ways, it truly is. That would give us more concrete efforts again to wage against anybody trying to get in without raising a hand to do it. But working through the government and the constituents there to start creating the same type of system that we want to see at our ocean fronts and down in Texas and so forth, not to become that northern borderline. So that's going to be a very particular way that I think they need to go also. And that's one of the reasons why you guys are starting to hear this Area 51 scenario.
I agree. Yeah.
Now, Danielle says people are saying no to globalism. So the question that I have is, are we trying to form, taking Canada, which is a country, if we made it the 51st state, are we just trying to build the globe that way? I mean, are we any more guilty than anybody else? Or I mean, eventually, I guess we're all supposed to unite as one government anyway. But I don't believe that will ever happen. You know, my question probably came out kind of scrambled because my thoughts are kind of scrambled, Michael. I wasn't sure how to put it into words.
Well, I think what it is, it comes down to everybody wants substance. You know, a lot happened over the past 8 years, 4 years mainly. Where everybody suffered with wars and different effects of, attacks that have occurred that all came through the United States. And I think Trump is on the same page with some of these other countries to all have an equal fairness of equity in the world and management, governmental management, because there's too many of these smalls that were getting taken over because of the being occupied by, when you have not just a new world order, but you have United Nations who will just use America for a narrative, then go in, occupy a country, take them over, take their minerals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the only way to get them back is to allow the people of countries to have them back. And I think what they're trying to do is manage a territorial scenario to come into place within that function. How fast it's going to happen exactly, I don't know. I mean, that was never a part of any disclosure given to me of what I learned today or yesterday, because I actually had 2 really long days with conversations. And believe me, my brain is kind of fried. But this is where we're at in the direction, definitely on what we're looking at. But again, we have to get certain things done by 2029. And that was a date given to us that we had up till that time. Whatever you want to take that to mean, that would be April 14th, 2029. It's a deadline. It was given to Eisenhower, and he was told how to basically navigate the system through the chain of government, regardless of how the change would occur, through other people, through other commanders and chiefs, that we needed to go on this narrative. And what you have seen displayed has been the people who have closestly put themselves in the place of taking us down this path. I always said, man itself, I don't think has the brilliance or the brains to do it. It's definitely through a technology, but it's through an instrument only being used through a technology.
I just cannot get things going. I apologize. But Randy, Chuck, Jerry, someone comments?
Actually, Chuck,
Oh,
I'm sorry. Dave, I got to go.
Go ahead.
But
Okay.
I appreciate you letting me on. Nice to see everybody. I will be back tomorrow night. Hopefully, we'll see everybody tomorrow
Yep.
night. Y'all take care.
Yep.
I'm not feeling very well.
All right,
That's
thanks,
why.
Jerry.
And
Take care, Jerry.
Okay, yeah,
most people are thrilled
yeah,
when I'm not feeling well because I don't feel like talking. So
no,
okay.
okay,
We'll see
all
you
right,
guys
no, I
tomorrow.
don't.
Take
Yep,
care.
yep.
Good night. People.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, brother.
Can you guys hear me?
It was, yeah, I could hear you, Randy.
Okay.
It was kind of a weird day as I was sitting down trying to put a broadcast together. I couldn't focus on any one thing. I wasn't really sure what we would talk about. I wasn't sure who would be.
Be right back.
Okay. Okay, Michael. I wasn't sure who would be available to be on. It should be somewhat of a happy day. I guess it's Jen Woodruff's husband Jesse's 51st birthday, which is why she is not here tonight. They're out celebrating, and they should. And let's see. I didn't know what Chuck's escort business was doing.
Busy.
I heard that the Mega Millions jackpot is up to, or Powerball is up to $600 million. And it was weird. Walked away from that discussion with negative thoughts going, if I win, I'm going to lose like $300 million of it in taxes.
About half of it. Yeah, that's about right.
To get $300 million, and I'm 63 years old. So what do I have? 38 years till I'm 100. And what do you do with it? And I apologize if I'm not 100% focused tonight. I'm trying to do my best, which is why I'm not talking much and letting everybody else talk for a change.
Michael.
Yes.
Where are you? How do I put this? You know that from sources that I've had, or places that I follow or whatever. I'll get with you in private chat about that. But Trump. You ever see the side of his hat where it says 45-47?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that we're in the dash right now because that's a continuation of.
It's never ended.
It never ended
with country since he's
right. He's been president since 45.
He is, exactly. Yeah, he is basically in exile right now or whatever, right. And we are basically under military operations and military laws and orders right now as a country.
That's kind of like a catch-22 question.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would be observing more factual information through our own visionary things, but we're not. But I will say that there are tactical things going on, and they have. I mean, he's been meeting with, and they knew it. They knew what he was doing. They knew that they couldn't stop him. But it's not that they couldn't even stop him. It's things that were talked about and planned when Trump met people in person while he was an active president. So through this intermediate period, nothing changed except the plans kept coming together. And he had 4 years to do it, to create the battle on how to fight it back. And look, when you're talking about a man almost by himself, literally, who is dominating the entirety of the globe on his name and on his character. He's won every litigation except for one that's still outstanding, and the judge is probably going to freeze it, and it's not going to matter anyway. But there's just so many other things until he gets there. When he because I believe he is a person of law, and without it, he won't react until he 120. But remember, December 31st at midnight, his cabinet members do go in. That's when their work starts. They are allowed to start their work upon that time. Trump has to wait until the formal inauguration.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting, and like I said, some of the things that you were talking about earlier, about him meeting with the other, leaders of other countries and stuff like that. and everybody's, the liberals or whatever, well, let's put the 14th Amendment on him or whatever, the Logan Act, because he's not a president and he's talking to these foreign leaders, and well, that's because legally he is basically still president, from what I've understood,
Well, yeah, that's the big QAnon type of, and military and certain people of law books and strategists saying that he's never conceded.
Right. Yep.
Meaning by doing that, he is keeping his reputation and his command.
True. Yep.
And that's a bitch slap in their faces.
Oh yeah,
But he's the man that does it. I mean, watch when he shakes their hands. If you look at any of these videos when he was just away over in Europe and England, meeting with some of these people in Parliament and whatnot, he didn't let their hands go. He held on to them.
25 seconds.
Exactly. The firmness was the confidence to tell them, "Don't cross the line. I'm here now." Yep. And, whatever he had to say to them, I'm sure he said it to them. And we don't know what that is exactly. And maybe he didn't say a whole lot, but he probably left them worried.
Very worried. Very worried.
So, Michael,
Randy,
Michael, you were saying earlier about the world coming, the world grouping into smaller. Well, how should I say? You're saying that some of the countries are going to join other countries to make a larger country. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that what we're seeing right now with China surrounding Taiwan with their navy and their boots on the ground, and Russia with the troops in Ukraine and Zelensky ready to fall, and with Israel and the United States attacking in force Syria, and with Israel seizing Damascus. Is that what we're beginning to see as far as the
they're starting to protect their new territorial rights that they want. They're starting to get in position for that.
Do you think China's going to make their run on Taiwan before Trump walks in the White House?
Say that one more time.
With China surrounding Taiwan with their navy and their boots on the ground, and obviously the overflights, do you think that China's going to make their move on Taiwan before Trump takes the White House?
I don't think they're going to do anything but probably perform in part of the show if it's necessary to perform in it. It may not, but I think what they are truly doing, they're all just looking to protect the sectors that have been discussed and promised to them. That's why Dubai wants to handle all the gold. They don't trust America to do it, and that's why Trump's wearing the gold tie saying, well, we don't need you to control it. We can handle it ourselves. We will go to a digital monitoring system backed by all gold, even though it's not of existence of currency of a paper product. It will be part of that string theory where the knot lies, if you know what a string theory could be, possibly be.
Okay.
Will it become illegal for Americans to own gold again at that point because the government will need it all or think that it needs it all in order to finance the government's operation, which is not necessarily the operation of the country, but the government's operation.
Good question, Dave.
It would be the government's funding itself, meaning we would want to own all the gold we could to what we want done in the United States of America and in the world, but as opposed to us just being, I don't know, my words are just not coming out of my head clearly. We're all slaves to our government. So
right. And
our government is going to hoard all that gold because that's the only way it will be able to support itself, is what I'm trying to say. Not necessarily us wanting to have all the gold because we're the United States of America.
Yeah. Well, if you go back into history, what did that do for the government, actually? It gave them the authority to create the value points of what gold would be and how to regulate it, because they controlled the whole narrative of it because they became the wealth of the gold again.
Right.
So would Trump shove something like that down our throat? I don't think that he would. I think that he has a different type of plan with enough other backing to where we could survive without having to do that. But it does bring up a really interesting. What you bring up is a very interesting characteristic of point, because when that did happen in that place of time where you were only allowed to have so much gold, otherwise, you could be convicted of a crime. But what it did do was it gave us the future of creating an asset to become more of an asset. And that's exactly, which was pretty damn smart when you think about it. And that's why Nixon made the moves that he made as well that really pissed him off. So you can't take that out of the picture, because we need money in government in order to function because of infrastructure on itself and education and different types of programmings that are important, at least that we feel are important. But I think you're even going to see more changes come to all of that in fruition very shortly as well. As soon as they get in there, you're going to see a war zone take effect all across America on these 3, 4, 5 letter controlled agencies that we have. You're already seeing all new names of the branches coming into play, etc. But gold, how it will work, I don't know, except for the fact, Dave, I don't think that they would take from us. I think what they would do would probably put some type of lock mechanism to the ones that are actually doing the mining of the gold product, to where it would have to then come through the government, the chain of government and leadership of government, to be distributed in a certain, probably under a certain guideline.
So the Fed's never going to go away, and they're just going to move to gold.
Well, the Fed's going to go away. Fed's going to go away.
Don't need the Fed.
Yeah.
No,
we don't need the Fed to do this.
From what I understand, yes, no, we don't need the Fed. The Fed borrowed time collecting taxes from the IRS, who has basically been the Fed's sheriff of Nottingham, collecting taxes for wars that predate the four of us here, and Randy's 66 years old. So, and we're not even paying the debt; we're just paying the interest on it. And
yeah, we only meet the ceiling. That's all we do. We don't. We
Right.
pay nothing done.
Could we function without the Fed?
Yeah, why not? We don't need the Fed. We don't need the Fed to create a new digital currency and new banking system. And I think that's why, and the direction that Trump will definitely take us. Although how long will something like that take to set up, I have no clue. These guys are working this out over the last 4 years. They're way ahead of us on what their next move and strategy is going to be to do it. But remember the importance of how this happened. Also, a lot of people don't know this, and they call it the sinking of the Titanic, which wasn't really the Titanic that everybody thinks sank. It was a sister ship that was made to look like it. There were 3 people on that ship that were coming to vote against the Fed when that ship went down. When they loaded the ship, there were 12 constituents on the ship, 9 of them who exited the ship before it left the port, having no idea when it left the port where these other members coming in would be or go. Well, they came in on a later ship, and they voted in the Fed, which was basically, not the way it was supposed to go, but that's how it really panned out.
It was probably the way it was supposed to go. The ones who weren't going to support it weren't there and became shark bait.
Exactly.
And the ones who were going to vote it in made sure that only the ones who were going to vote it in.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And that's why you have to think out of this box on the things that I'm telling you about the technology and what we know that we're actually we're actually in a war with technology, and it's not our technology. We're getting fragments of it and we're utilizing it, but only preparating and this utilization for what its purpose is. It's like CERN. If CERN can truly open up a dimension, would you send Randy, Dave in first, or would you send robotics in? The same way when they claim that we get the Mars. They send the
Probably
machines
want to
in
send
first.
the robotics in first because if
Exactly.
you don't they're not going to send
Oh,
me in. They're
you
not going to send me in to die first. They'd
you
rather
want to protect
oh,
me. Thank you.
but,
Wow. He
uh,
does love me.
this weird. This whole thing is like right now. It just seems that people are grabbing me into chats all the time about Bitcoin. Back when Bitcoin first started, you could buy a Bitcoin for $5.
Yep.
And if you sat on it through yesterday, that $5 coin was worth $98,540.54 yesterday. And the person that launched the conversation, the final question was, what happens when one guy is left holding the bag? And I said, what do you mean? He said, the person that bought all the Bitcoins. They were only worth $5 when they started, but he got 98,000, or he paid $99,000 for all of them. My response was, then they're worthless, really, because he's got them all. It doesn't matter that he paid $99,000 for them. What's going to happen? I said, what's probably going to happen is someone's going to create another $5 coin that everybody's going to buy, and when it gets up to $99,000, someone's going to buy them all. And what's the point of all this digital currency?
Well, what's the point of a stock market? You can implode it, or you can watch it gain. Like when Trump won the election, a day and a half later, the stock market went through the roof on a gain at $1.3 trillion plus dollars.
Right.
And it's maintaining a level now.
Right.
It's maintaining a level. But part of why that is also is, never forget, as I told you guys, and this is common sense, the corporations will always follow the new world leader, because whatever his agenda is, they will separate themselves from the old one, because they know the old one most likely cannot do any more harm to them, because they were rolled under a thumb to do what they were told to do. Like when we saw all the wokeness and all the money going to Antifa and Black Lives Matter and the donations and the house buyings and all that stuff. So remember, now you're going to see a twist and chain, and it's going to actually create more. Like seeing Aunt Jemima back. Possibly, maybe not, but possibly. And it's cigarette time for Chuck Woolery there, Chuck Cook.
Chuck Woolery passed away recently.
Yeah, he did, actually. And I like that guy. I'll be back in 2 and 2.
Did you see who? Did you see it was Miss McConnell, I believe, that fell after eating some lunch today? He fell on the face.
Again?
Miss McConnell? Yeah.
Ouch.
Nope. I was busy in La La Land for 3.5 hours.
La La Land.
Yeah, it wasn't the good kind.
He swore that he was going to finish his term. He wasn't coming back. But he swore that he was going to finish it if he would die before that happened. But
how's his voting been? Has he been voting the Republican line, or has he been screwing us over?
A little bit of both, from what I hear. I mean, he doesn't like Trump. Supposedly he doesn't like Trump. Where he stands as the Senate Majority Leader right now, evidently John Thune, I believe, was elected in the incoming session, which is Republican majority, to be the Senate Majority Leader. I don't know much about him. I guess John Cornyn was the other one, but they didn't want him, and I'm not sure why. What do you know, Michael?
I don't know. I think I said a hell of a lot tonight, but I didn't give you it all. I didn't give you it all because you guys aren't ready for it. But
no, I'm glad. I'm glad you came in, only because, like I said, I was talking with someone, Michael Stewart, who evidently knows you pretty well, he and I had a conversation today, and I said to him, why don't you come on tonight?
Yeah, Michael's a good guy, man.
And your name came up that he was going to try to get a hold of you to see if you were free to come on too. But like I said, he said that you had something big around 8:00 tonight, and didn't know if if he could catch up with you. And then, like I said, it was a really loose plan for tonight's broadcast. Just kind of like say we're here and see who was here. And
I'm glad I was able to make it, and it was a good show.
We're here, Chuck. You know,
thank you.
A lot of times I don't have a plan for a broadcast, but I know it's going to be tight. It's going to work, and everybody is going to say. And
I did do a quick.
My head just was not.
I did do a quick Google of how many Canadians would support a becoming the 51st state, and it said that 13% would agree to it at this point, anyways. You would think, though, that with everything that their leadership has done to destroy their nation and to take away from the citizens, that they would want a regime change.
Well, I think Canada would love to see everything change up there. At least the citizens. I mean, think back to when the truckers across Canada and what they went through and how they persecuted the people there. Do you really think these people wouldn't support a Trump in America over Trudeau? Somebody who's related through bloodline from the Pope through a war criminal? I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead with your butt thing. I'm sorry.
I just been thinking, everything, and I'm just going to word it as commodities because I don't really want to say. Maybe I should just say children that are going to be sold, that are going to come in through the southern border, through Mexico, into the United States. They unfortunately live that terrible life here in the United States, and then I guess get passed on to Canada. If all of that crap coming in through the southern border comes into the United States +1, the United States of America +1, doesn't it just make that whole situation that we're in even worse?
No, the worst part is what's coming through California, and
will it stop?
To do it. Look, nobody complained, but they did complain when they were worried about us buying Alaska until they realized the wealth and immensity up there of minerals and oil and gas. Same with Hawaii when you look at that, and how parts of the Canary Island are under America control still. Nobody talks about that +1.
Well, with Putin holding submarines off the coast of Alaska all the time, and William Lockett, we'll talk about that when he's on the American Rebellion with us some nights. Does Putin actually think he's going to get Alaska back? I mean, was Alaska actually part of Russia at one time?
Yes, and we bought it for basically nothing.
Does he think he's actually going to get it back?
Pennies on a dollar per acre.
Okay, but does he actually think this is 2024. Does he actually think he's going to get it back?
If we go territorial, the way that the discussions are coming across of that happening into the future, with Russia getting certain equity of domains, China getting so much of it. But remember, these are the world's strengths, and they are the ones that have to be the ones who have the most capabilities, and engaging and protecting. But I think we're going to see a lot happen, and I do think Russia probably has some validation in ways, but I don't think Trump will be weak in ways to say we'll just surrender it. And now, if there's an accordance between them all, then we're not going to be sitting at that tabletop when it's being talked about and who's going to get what and how it's all going to work. But remember, you have to go back to the part of how do they stop this from ever happening again. And I think that's what the total setup and why this setup will occur.
My big scare is that we have 50 states now, and I'm sure all these other countries around the world have a claim to every one of the 50 states. So is this their plan to ultimately shut down? Screw you, United States of America. Florida, you now belong to Mexico, and Wisconsin, you now belong to
Yeah, just
Trudeau land, and
just go in and occupy them, and it's yours anyway. It's that easy. I mean, they've done it to how many countries? We had occupied Japan. Remember? Do you remember when all that? Look underneath your old pottery pieces that you have.
Yeah,
Go
see,
look under
occupied
them.
Japan.
Yeah, and it's not just occupied Japan. I mean, you have the French Canadians. So think about it. This was the Queen's domain, the Queen's throne, not the Devil's throne, the Queen's throne. This is where they,
some equate her with being the devil's sister.
yeah, exactly, in ways. And she wasn't even of legal blood. She was a halfer.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Go
going
ahead,
to call
Randy.
tonight.
All right, Randy.
See ya.
Tomorrow's Wednesday morning, 10 o'clock. You want to be there? You want me to check with you in the morning? I lost your mic.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Now that you found it, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Am I back?
Yes, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning?
If I wake up, yes.
All right, okay. Chuck, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, you and Randy and I, if you wake up.
I will be on my way to Iowa.
Or did you tell me that you couldn't? All right, you're going to be.
Yeah, and I won't be on tomorrow night. Either. No.
You're going to be an escort in Iowa.
Well, escorting maybe a squall.
Oh, wait, no. I forgot.
Casino.
You're going to be looking for customers for Chuck's Casino in.
There you go. Yeah.
In Wisconsin.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, like I said, it was a great show. I'm glad that I was able to stop in, and good to see Michael in here. Yeah. Good points. Yeah.
All right.
And
Chuck.
everybody in the chat, thank you for good comments and everything there too. Don't want to forget about our good people in the chat either. So.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and head out too. So.
All right.
Cheers.
All right,
All right,
Chuck.
brother. Good seeing you.
See ya. Bye-bye.
All right. Anything else you want to cover, Michael?
No, I'd like give you a little bit of time to digest some of that because it gets more extensive, to be perfectly honest with you. And I know a lot of people are just looking at this as politics. Yeah, that's the navigation. That's the navigational process. But on the backside, there's something much greater going on that they are preparing to, confront. I'm just going to say it like that. And, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Should we be scared? It's like I keep asking you all the time. Should we be scared?
Yeah, you should. We are at that point where people should be scared.
Of what's coming? Because it's like I ask you all the time, and I keep saying to you all the time, 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, everybody was telling me, oh, Dave, you're going to go to sleep one night, you're going to wake up and there's going to be $5 billion in your checking account when you wake up in the morning, and your bank is going to call you and say, oh, by the way, come into our branch because your birth certificate's been returned. You're now a sovereign nation.
Yeah, well, I think the calmness will come to people when we start to unify in a manner where equity is shared equally. That's going to be part of how we go into the future of what's important. A lot of people may not want to hear that because there could be some football players out there who want to be quarterback and make $150 million a throw, but it's not going to work like that anymore. Everything is going to be created for a different purpose of normalcy, because everybody does deserve to be in this life with the equal opportunity. No matter what you do, everything that somebody does is important. I could go out and catch my son playing football with him, and I get nothing, but yet you get a guy on the field that collects all these types of dollars, and he collects all types of dollars. Fairness has to be developed, and we need a new platform as to how that will go to bring us more compatible to each other, because that will stop the divide. If we stop the divide and we have equal fairness everywhere, then you're going to see more unity come, through people and through their eyes and through their minds, and judgment won't be as indifferent. But how this is all going to transpire and take place, it's going to be pretty impressive to watch. But keep in mind, while these things happen, it's because we need to come back down to where humanity once was. Where if you live in a village, as it was explained to me, if you live in a village and everybody plays a part in the village, there is equal fairness throughout the village. No matter what you need, somebody will be able to do it with you. And that's the type of city structures that I think Trump is going to try to uniform around us all and make it happen throughout the United States. But I also think Russia and China are going to try to step up to that plate too. Russia being more positive than China. And then when you go into the Far East, that's going to be a little bit of, I'm sure, where a lot of people are going to have to sit down and figure out how to step forward with that because of the damages, because how they always get left behind with living in rubble, without food, without good water. Our resources are going to improve. And when we start to do that and start to maintain the equity of life and the quality of life and the quality of wages ought to be of equal fairness, then we're going to be able to multiply and flourish in a better way. And without all the idiotic stupidity that surrounds everything, because right now everybody wants to cheer the idol, and we need to remove the idol and give it back to the people. If they want to do music, go do your music. And if you are controlled by what you can say, how you can do it, that's too damn bad, because we watched how it destroyed America, and we've got to rebuild America. So with that said, I mean, that's the best way I can put it to you. This is going to be a landmine of so much, Dave, not knowing where to step the next day when you get out of bed, but seeing something better happen.
Well, Alex Jones and I could be sitting behind the same desk doing broadcasts, maybe.
The possibility is going to be endless when we all come to a certain place and position. And, there's going to have to be a rule of thumb somehow. How this is all going to navigate, I'm not 100% sure. But I do know one thing. If we could go back, 2,000, 3,000 years where money had and gold had no quality of value, and the only thing they used it for were decorative purposes. Making cups, making saucers, making crosses. It didn't have a value point.
Teeth.
And teeth. And look how well technology worked back then that was hidden and suppressed. I mean, we need to get back to those points where,
we do.
Everything across the board has a different type of level. And I know that that's the direction this is going to head in. I don't know how they're going to deliver it and how fast it will occur. The other thing I think we should keep in mind is Trump may very well not stay in the complete time in his office.
Yeah.
Because he will then want to place his constituent in his place, not on a vote. Remember, a vote could be the worst steal, the worst thing, and the worst deal that they could do. But if Trump was to hand it to him, then you already have an existing president running for president again.
Right. We've had that conversation. If he goes to J.D. Vance in 2 years and says, I've done it all. I've set up the course. You've been with me day in, day out for 2 years. It's really time for me to step down.
Exactly.
You carry the ball till 2028. It's 2026. You carry the ball until 2028. America sees how you're going to continue us going, and you will probably be the man in 2028. But the question still be in my head, it's not going to be just Trump saying so long, I'm riding into the sunset, because people are always going to wonder where he is. He can't spend the rest of his life writing books and saying, remember back when, this and that, people are always going to want to know what the man is doing. I think they're always going to want the man to be involved.
Well, he's 70.
Unless we find out he's an alien, then it's time for him to go home.
Well, I think he's more of a time traveler than an alien, but that's speculation. That's only speculation.
No, just something to that effect is what I meant. But
and same with why I said what I said. But look, there's things out there we don't know about. There's things out there that Trump knew about before they ever even happened. Somewhere along the line, there's a super technology that we are somehow it somehow is in our hands in ways, but not. And
Maybe God
it's
set us up.
pardon me.
Maybe God set us up. Maybe God's one of the aliens.
Well, I mean, here that's part of
And are there people above? I said this once a couple of weeks ago. I don't know whose broadcast it was. Maybe God as the alien supervisor, that the aliens that are us that dropped us here and everything, maybe God's just the one who's watching us for them.
it's some supreme um,
What
intelligence.
is significant? What is the significance to the fact that God is supposed to be man's best friend and dog is man's best friend, and God and dog are spelled backwards? Although you do see you do see pictures or drawings of dog people, which were humans with what looked like a dog head, but I never heard the story behind any of them.
Nubis.
Okay.
What was Nubis?
I'll have to look it up.
I'll take Nubis for 500, Alex.
Yeah.
No, but that's what you're talking about. That's the name that they called that represented that idol. But again, I think all these things that did exist on this planet once upon a time in early creation, but not by God's hand, by other things. But so let me ask you a question. When you look at this, and this was something shared to me, and it should be logic. Who gave birth to Adam and Eve?
I don't know, other than
I'll
maybe
give you the name. It's something called Lilith.
Okay, who gave birth to God? That's what I want to know.
And again, that we will never have the answer to.
And I want to know if when God was a youngster growing up, well, God had to. If God's father was God,
yeah,
and at some point God Senior said, "I'm tired, my son. It's time for you to take over." Then the question is, and you can't search it on Google because you get to a point eventually where you just don't get any more answers, and the conspiracy theories get to be so ridiculous that it at times makes me wonder if any of it is real anyway, and whether or not we'll know the answer anyway. Because I always said that religion was came in when a ruler was losing his or her followers and said, if you don't do what I'm telling you to do anymore, the god of fire is going to destroy your house and you're going to die, and you're going to go in hell, and you're going to
hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. Let's go back to the Adam and Eve story.
Okay.
All right. So two parties were made in the image of what? God. So was God both a man and a woman? We don't know.
I'm not going to say anything, and you may laugh hysterically, but the thought of saying "go fuck yourself" literally just came to my mind. And
always go with your gut.
And I could not imagine someone looking at God and saying, "Go fuck yourself." And God says, God taps him on the shoulder in the morning and goes, "Here's my child."
Right. Who's the first one that ever forced compliance in the garden?
God.
Exactly. How did he do that?
Told them not to bite the apple, knowing that they would.
And then who came along and shared and expressed, by eating this, you will have my knowledge. You will have the knowledge of the universe.
God.
No. The serpent.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The serpent.
The mother of the children.
But then, okay, so the mother of the children is supposed to be a serpent, but we're supposed to hold mothers in high esteem.
Only representative.
Because they give birth to all of us.
But only depicted like that. It doesn't mean that that's theoretically correct in any way, that it was some type of, that's what is written. But is that how we are interpreting? Are we interpreting that properly?
We don't know. And the thing about the Bible that I've always said is it doesn't matter if 50 million scribes sat there and watched the same thing happen, because one scribe told another scribe who told another scribe who told another scribe who had
Over
no idea.
40,000, over 40-year period of different
Right.
people doing it.
And they all had no idea of what had happened between 1 and 40,000 of them, because they weren't what one saw is not the same that what 40,000 the 40,000th scribe heard from the 39,999th scribe.
And why does every religion have, just this is offsetting, but why does every religion have the same characteristic, but different names used? The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost.
Right. See,
whatever religion you go into,
I know
they all have the same type of.
We never called him the Father. We didn't talk about the Holy Son, and we didn't talk about the Holy Spirit.
Well, then you could say the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
We just do God because we were told the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Okay. Now,
what I don't know, but you know.
But after this, bear in mind here, after Adam and Eve fallen to the apple incident, what happened? What was their punishment?
They got kicked out.
Bingo. Now I want you to think about everything you're putting together in your mind right now, and all your listeners to do the same. How do we take this?
My mind just went.
And doesn't it? Because now you're looking at it from maybe a truther side. I'm not saying that it's factual, but if you look at the information that has been provided and you allow yourself to think out of the box, you may see, in fact, that there is misleading quotes through the story. But however, we became a prison planet, had we not?
Well, I told you that we became a prison planet a long time ago.
And slavery became more even factually real. So who and what is really the scenario here?
We did this to ourselves. Why, I don't know.
And would a God punish or take a life of a child? No. But it happens. But yet it happens.
It does happen. Why, I don't know. Because if you listen to God, God says there is nothing holier than a child. There's nothing more important to me than your child.
Doesn't it make you wonder who's the true God of the planet Earth?
Well, the true God is someone who understands that you're here to teach. I kept you here. I helped you create a child. It was your job to educate and teach that child, because one day you will not be here. Hence that song, teach your children well, their parents' health will slowly go by, and whatever the next line is that I can never remember. But, you know, you are here for that, to teach that child to one day be the adult. It's kind of like the scene, you know, Edwin G. Robinson in Soylent Green. You know, he had been here long enough. He could only teach Charlton Heston so much. It was time to go into that room and watch the nature scenes as the gas slowly killed him. And he went off to the factory and became Soylent Green.
Right.
But
well, I mean, I think, you know, when we look at things like this, it shows subject matter of dissonance always. And it seems like it was part of the scenario, the setups, even through the books. And we have to be very careful, because if something else of a greater power is really here unseen, but guiding all this, that's exactly who they are bending over to and taking the knee for.
That's the key to the gold vault, and she's not letting it go.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, it is what it is, but I find it very interesting when we look at it that way, because through this prison planet, the only thing that we had left was the guidance of a book. But who gave the information to these books? I mean, and where did it all start? Where did it all come from? And why was it so important? Because it's almost like a governmental document.
But why does it keep coming into my head where the message from God is it's not having all the gold. It's not having all the money.
Exactly.
I've told you for the 6 years that I've been on this ministry to me, don't worry about what you don't have to do the broadcasts. Get up and do them every day with what you have. And when what you have isn't capable of doing them anymore, I will make sure you have what you need. Hence, stop dropping enough coffee on a Chromebook that it finally wouldn't work anymore and have to buy this and do this and expand from this. It's like saying to the world, $1,500 a month on Social Security, if that's what I'm getting, it's not a whole lot of money, but it works. I don't know if that's trying to get me ready for someday. Like I said, I'm going to open up my bank account and see $50 million in there and go, oh boy, I don't have to worry anymore. And it's probably bullcrap because I probably go through and flush that $50 million as fast as it landed in there.
Well, you might be surprised to see that certain things will help and benefit the people that need added benefits. I think that you're going to probably be happily surprised about it. You won't be judged as a North Carolina who just went through a devastation and all
feels. No, they got screwed by our government. $1 billion. $1 billion ruined those people's lives.
Yeah. Same with Maui. You can't take that out of the equation either.
I guess I don't understand Maui because the only thing I can figure on Maui is that Satan won that one. Because those people bought all that land for pennies, if that, on the dollar. Hired all those people to work for them, gave them, I don't know, probably $7 to build a new hut and whatever. And maybe, unfortunately, it's those people they went through terrible fires and lost their homes, and the same thing that the people in North Carolina did. But I don't understand who needed to learn the lesson. A lot of that was material. You don't need that because it's a terrible thing to look at somebody and go, you probably lost your home because you're a terrible person and you needed to have everything taken away from you, because the bulk of the people who lost their homes are not terrible people. They're just people who were, something came up Hurricane Alley and blew up their house and went on.
Yeah.
And who did it? Because Satan's got to be sitting here laughing that he got away with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, remember, we are only told to call him Satan. We don't know what he is. What we do know is something was left here with us. Something was left here with us when the mistake was made in the garden. However people want to go through that analogy of it and why certain actions were taken the way they were. But there were two sides of two things that happened here between people, between entities.
This is true.
So in a way, the light that we may have all had is the light that they are trying to force feed us down our throat. And the other one is the one who we called to and asked the police come and rescue us from help that doesn't, at least not up till now. We might just have the whole story backwards.
Wow, that's kind of interesting. All right, it is 9:05. I do have to pull the plug on this. I need to speak to you if you have a minute that I can give you a phone call once we call you through Messenger once we get off. And
tomorrow, 11 o'clock when you get done, or 11:30.
Tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Tomorrow, 11 o'clock.
You're already going to be back on in 10 hours, so 12
All right,
hours.
if you're, I'll call you tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow after the 10 o'clock. If you're around tomorrow, join me and Randy and Chuck if you can, and anybody else, and we will go from there. I just have a quick question, but I want to talk to you about it on the phone.
All right.
Okay. Toodaloo, thank you, Michael Anthony, 10 o'clock talk, Studio 10, American Disclosing Uncensored. Catch him on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. When you can, go to the Michael Anthony Facebook page. You'll get all the information about Oracle Radio, the shows he's doing there, the shows other people are doing there. If you're interested in doing something, you should talk to Michael. There are opportunities that come up every once in a while. If you are interested in doing something like we do, Boogie with the Bull, you are more than welcome to join us Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 o'clock to about 11:30 in the morning. That's Eastern time. And Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. to about 8:30. Usually we went a little late tonight. As I said, I apologize profusely that the gel for tonight in my head on what we were going to do and how we were going to do it didn't quite happen when the intro music stopped at 7 o'clock and we jumped in to do it. My head just wasn't quite there. Spent a lot of time on the phone today talking to people. Had to do some work on the new laptop, getting an update, another major update in there. We had a little bit of trouble with it. And then talked with Michael Stewart on the phone for a long time, and I hope that we can get him on very, very quickly. So again, if you're interested in doing what we do, just coming on here and talking about different things, sometimes it's political, sometimes it's not. It's politics and whatever comes out of our mouths on Boogie with the Bull. And like I said, if you come on and you can be a part of the 10 a.m.s Monday and Wednesday and the 7 p.m.s Tuesday and Thursday, or any combination thereof, maybe Jerry Michaels, if he's on with us, will invite you to join the American Rebellion, and we grow and we grow and we grow. Everybody grows, and everybody is happy. Please, while you're in the live chat on Facebook and or Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, please take it and share it wherever you can, both on Facebook or off of Facebook. I'm going to be working on a project with someone to earlier in the day set up the broadcast to link it to the YouTube channel with a continuous link going. And then that way I can spend more time taking it and linking it to other places besides Facebook and Streetlock and a few other places, and just kind of get it going and see what kind of a response we can get from everywhere. Unfortunately, in this world, usually what you have to do is you have to pay Rumble $11. No, excuse me. You have to pay X $11 a month. Then you have to pay Rumble $10 a month. Then you have to pay this one and that one. Anyway, it's time to go. So Devil Beats for Victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. One more time, you've been listening to Boogie with the Bull Tuesday night. Uncensored, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 10.